today we've got Jamin here from, he's from the Bay Area in California, and then myself, my name's Dane, and I am from Melbourne in Australia. So, hey, Jamin, how you going?
Doing good, Dane. Good to see you again. It's been a little bit, but
Yeah,
good
you
to
too,
get back together.
Yeah, exactly. And we've both sort of gone on this coffee journey, I think, especially since COVID sort of broke out and we've been stuck at home. How long have you been on this coffee journey for?
I would say October 2020 is probably when it started.
Yeah, and for me, I've always had sort of an automated coffee machine at home, like a DeLonghi. So I've had that for the past 5 years or so. But yeah, I went upgraded to a Breville and then a Lit Bianca just recently. So I've probably got into specialty coffee probably since, probably the start of 2020, I'd say. Yeah, man. And today we're going to try to stick on topic, and we're just going to talk about, we're going to try some beans actually. So we're trialing some beans from Onyx Coffee Labs, which are based in Rodges in Arkansas in the USA. And this is their blend called Southern Weather. So I guess the format, what we're going to do is try the coffee first, but while it's still fresh, rather than letting it get cold. And then we'll share the screen and have a look at what their beans are all about, and we'll take it from there. Yeah. So, do you want to try yours first, Jamin, and sort of see what you're tasting? What I guess I should point out to everyone is just the tasting notes of what we're looking for. So the Southern Weather has tasting notes of milk chocolate, plum, candied walnuts, and sort of like a juicy and citrus oil kind of flavors as well. So go for it, man. Take it away.
I will say that it's good. I will say my only thing is with the coffees, just real quick, is so everybody knows, I make my lattes with oat milk. So it's going to taste a little bit different than people if you're using it with whole milk or another dairy with a dairy product. That being said, in this one, I can taste a little bit of chocolatey, but I can definitely taste a walnutty taste. You know that taste after you eat a couple walnuts, and you have that. It's almost like a lingering aftertaste of the walnut on your tongue.
Yeah,
that's the profile that I'm getting from here. So that's spot on there. I don't really know really citrus finish for me, but the chocolate and the candied walnuts are what's standing out to me.
Awesome, man. I'm actually glad you said that, because I've tried it before, and I was getting similar notes. So I've actually prepared for myself here a latte with with dairy milk and also an Americano, just to see if there's a bit of difference.
Oh, nice.
So I thought I'll give it a go. So I'll go with the milk base first, just so I can be on par with yourself.
Nice latte art there, by the way.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm getting the hearts down packed at least now. So, which is interesting. That's actually probably a good story for this podcast, is how I actually got onto Onyx Coffee Labs. As I started watching the YouTube tutorials for latte art from Lance Hedrick, and just the way he went about it was so detailed, really, really like made it simple. And I would recommend anyone that wants to learn the latte art to check out his videos. But he actually works for Onyx Coffee Lab. And then when I saw that, I thought, I've got to try these beans, because whoever he's working for is probably going to be pretty good. So I am impressed. So these beans, this just from that tasting, I've definitely got, as you said, that chocolatey kind of taste with sort of a chocolatey, creamy, rich sort of mouthfeel. And definitely the aftertaste of those candied walnuts. Like I reckon, even when you pop open the bag or grind them up, you can kind of smell it in there. It kind of smells like, in the US, there's like these, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called poppycock. It's like a tin of it's like candied popcorn and walnuts.
There's different names for it.
One I've had at Costco, I think it's called poppycock or something. But it actually kind of smells like that, I reckon. So that's definitely what I get as well. So it's quite a good bean, and
Did you pick up any of the citrus or the plum in there, or no?
Mate, not with the milk. I didn't find any sort of citrus, acidic kind of notes in there. I don't think that cuts through the milk, but I think it is a very nice, like coffee tasting, milk based beverage with those candied walnuts in the background. Like I do think it's a safe bet for anyone really. Like I think it's quite a pleasant flavor. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think it's good. It goes down good. I was going to make the same comment about the mouthfeel. It's not harsh, no acidic flavoring or tasting at all. I think so 2 weeks ago, or when the last time we were supposed to meet up, I think I had made myself an Americano because I had opened the bag.
Yeah.
So that's what I opened the bag ahead of time, and I actually liked it as Americano. And like I was telling you earlier, so lately, probably the last 2-3 weeks, I've been just doing AeroPress at work mostly, and then every once in a while having a latte at home. And so I'm really getting into just trying the coffee for itself, just with water, drinking it black. And it really helps the flavors come out. And I think I'm going to do that also probably this weekend with the rest of the bag, because I only have the sampler bag. So I don't have too many shots in there. So
yeah, same here. I guess probably a good note for the audience and is that we both bought the catalog box from Onyx. So what that is it's I think it's $80 US, and that comes with 12 different sort of sample size bags of different beans that they offer. So I think they're about 100 grams each for memory.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you probably get, a good, once you dial it in, you probably get a good 2 or 3 coffees out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. And then what I'll do, I just had a sip of soda water. That's what I do to cleanse my palate before trying something else. And I might just try the Americano version just to see if there's any difference. So I'll let you guys know. I think as an Americano, maybe the citrus acidic notes come through a bit more. Obviously, there's no milk blocking that out. But having said that, I wouldn't call it in any way acidic. Like it's kind of a really smooth drink, even as an Americano. Did you find that when you were having that as well? Or?
Yeah. Because especially compared to some coffees that I've had, especially lighter roasts, where it's a ton of acidic. But this one was pretty good. I liked it with the Americano. I think I had it at probably about 160 degrees. So I'm not sure what that is in Celsius, but
I'll check.
It's probably 40 something, I guess, would be.
160 F to C. It's about 70 degrees. So you're saying 70 cool down a bit, or?
Yeah, so I took it straight off of my machine, which is at 95 C. That's what the boiler's set for, somewhere around. Actually, my boiler's set for 95 C. So that's pretty hot. I did make a mistake of trying to taste it that hot. So I let it cool down. And what was nice too is as it gradually cooled down, drinking it, you can definitely tell the profile change. Which was pretty cool. So
flavors come out a bit more, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say even with that, the aftertaste of the Americano, I still get that walnut kind of flavor. But it's just more nutty. I'd say it's less candied, like it's just more of a walnut flavor. I think maybe what happens is, and I'm not an expert, but just from trying it, is maybe the sweetness of the milk and the creaminess of the milk probably adds that candied element, because I guess maybe with that creaminess it's maybe like, and sweetness, it's kind of like a buttery sweetness that's added to that walnut.
Yeah, I can definitely see the sugars from the milk binding with that, and those flavors, combining those flavors, making it that candied walnut flavor.
Yeah, for sure.
On there.
And what would you rate it out of 10 from your experience, man? Maybe rate it as an Americano from what you've had and a milk drink, I guess.
So for the Americano, it was probably one of my favorite Americanos that I've had. They haven't been my favorite drink in the past because I've always been a huge milk-based fan.
Yeah.
But I would put them both up there around probably a 7 on both sides. I like it, but it definitely doesn't beat the raspberry that we had.
That's the Uno raspberry candy, right?
From Uno raspberry candy, right? That one's up there, and then there's a couple other ones that that I like. But again, also too, that you got to realize this is with oat milk.
Yes.
So I'm also comparing. Some of my comparisons are with lattes that I used to prepare with whole milk or a mixture of heavy whipping cream and oat milk. So, but yeah, I'd say a 7 to 8. It's definitely not bad. I would definitely buy their beans again. Let me say that I would definitely buy their beans again. And I haven't gone through the other package yet either. So.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely a good review. For me, I'll probably, as an Americano, it's probably one of my favorite Americanos I've also had because some Americanos are a bit too, I like the fruity flavors, but they're a bit too acidic for me. Whereas this one was just nice. It was really balanced. It had a little bit of acidity, but nothing that you can't handle or nothing that's unpleasant. It was really, really balanced. So as an Americano, I'll probably rate it, probably an 8.5 for me out of 10. But then, as a milk drink, it's still really nice, but I'll probably about an 8. So I'd say, between 8 and 8.5 for me. So I guess they're probably similar marks really from both of us. But I'll definitely buy them again. And just speaking from Melbourne, like, in case you don't know, but Melbourne's a very coffee centered city. We have coffee everywhere. We've got hundreds of roasters here. Like, it's quite a massive scene. And I would say Onyx, stack up compared to most beans here. So I would definitely order them again. So
Now, just real quick.
I
was going to touch on real quick. I have found that, and I know it's sort of going outside of the general lines of the beans, lighter to darker, and what you're making, right? But even now, I think I prefer a medium to darker roast for an Americano.
Okay.
Than the lighter roast myself, on a personal preference, because it's not as acidic as some of those darker roasts. So that's one of the things that I do prefer.
Yeah. And with this roast, would you consider that more of a medium roast or?
Yes. Yeah. Because I had some that were light and that I just had ordered from somewhere else, and they're definitely lighter. And the thing is because it's subjected to the roaster. So I've had some people's roast that say it's light or medium, and it looks a little bit, either on the higher end of it or the lower end. And then starting to roast your own beans, the same thing, right? So I just did a roast this past weekend, and what I thought was maybe a light roast, I did a moisture loss on it, and it seemed pretty light, but the color doesn't match up to what I lost. So I think a lot of it's up to what the roaster says their bean is.
100%. And I think man, I say this all the time, but I just wish the SCA would bring out like a scale of 1 to 10 of like what a roast is, because I think like city plus full city, it's a bit subjective. I mean, you're never going to be exact anyway, but I think it'd just be easier for me anyway. But do you want to I'll share my screen and we can look at the beans and sort of give everyone a bit of a lowdown on Onyx and the beans.
I think that's a great idea because and I know from our discussions before, we do like to support certain businesses.
Yes.
And responsible, at least that we can tell, sure. And I think Onyx hits on some of those, and it'd be nice to talk about a couple of those points.
Cool. There are actually some points that I've highlighted as well. So so I'm glad we're on the same page, man. So I'll share the screen and we can jump onto their website and have a look. Give me one sec. Here we go. Sorry, there was my conversion from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So here we are. Can you see that, Jamin? Or?
Yep. That's great.
So here we are. So we're just on the Onyx website here. So it's onyxcoffeelab.com. So this is the just in the center here, this is a picture of the box. And actually, I received the box, and I've got to say the packaging was amazing. Like, I know that doesn't have anything to do with the taste of coffee, but it's hands down the best packaging I've ever received, like from a coffee company. So,
yeah.
Do you have any comment on that?
Really? I will say that I do believe over the last 5 years, Apple has set a standard for what people expect in packaging. And sure. I think a lot of people have really touched bases with the packaging on their products. And I think nowadays it means a lot. You see something that looks like it's well built, it's well packaged, and you're saying, hey, you know what? If they're taking that kind of care and concern with their package, the product's gotta be good.
Yeah.
And so I think it's excellent when the companies take time to really think about, their presentation.
100%. So basically, yeah. So Southern Weather. This is the blend that we've tried. So I'll just read the basic blurb that they've got. So Southern Weather embodies everything we love about specialty coffee and has evolved into a foundational blend. We brew this in our own cafes as a house filter option and love how it balances the relationship between modern citric acidity flavors with full-bodied chocolates. That kind of makes sense, because if they're using it as a filter option, you're going to get those acidities because you don't have the milk cutting that out. So, so basically, yeah, it's their signature blend. It's their foundation blend of from when they founded Onyx, and they were just looking for something that was kind of balanced, easily approachable for their customers. And I think they've hit the mark, because it is, what we've just spoken about, a really balanced drink. So I'll just scroll down here. We'll go to, I'm just going to move this.
I will say their website's pretty cool too, how they have that one. As you scroll down, the more information shows.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, 100%. So we've got the origin of the beans are a mix of Colombian beans and Ethiopia beans. So Ethiopia beans are generally characterized by a fruitiness and acidity, and Colombia beans are generally characterized for their sort of chocolate notes, known for their chocolate notes. So we've got the process of the beans are washed, and they've also got an average elevation of 1,850 meters, which is approximately 6,000 feet. So just to touch on elevation. So with Arabica beans, generally higher elevations for growing is preferred, because it creates a denser bean, which brings out, which sort of retains and brings out in the cup sort of more prominent flavors, so like your sugars and your acidic type flavors, which sort of make up a lot of the tasting notes that's in specialty coffee. So, there are other variables, obviously, from roasting that can change and all that sort of stuff. And as we discussed in the cup, we've got milk chocolate, plum, candied walnuts, juicy, and citrus finish as their tasting notes. But yeah, we've gone over that already. So let's go down here. So if you're interested in the story, you can visit the website. I don't think we need to touch on that. We've pretty much touched on that before. So another really cool feature of their site, and I'm sure you found this as well, is they give you a video with a recipe and a guide based on filter coffee, sort of for pour-overs and stuff like that, but also espresso coffee. So they give you a brew recipe to follow, and having it on video, I think, really helps for people that are more visual. What did you think about those? Did you watch those?
Yes, so I watched both of them, and I looked at both of their guides. And this is one of the things that I do appreciate about Onyx, because if you are new to specialty coffee, or you're new to, trying something other than your standard, drip, or your pre-capsuled Nespressos or things like that, right? Your K-cups, and you're trying to get into coffee.
Yeah.
A lot of times there's so much stuff out there, and you might not understand. So when a roaster actually gives you a guide for their coffee, it's really helpful to give you a starting point. So even though like I've been doing it for a few months, I have some recipes, I still use theirs. So this one, I usually do a 20-gram dose with my lattes and everything on their recipe for the espresso guide. 20 grams they had on there for like commercial use, 17 they put for home. So that's what I tried. I did the 17 with the 40 out, tried to keep it around 24 seconds. But I just appreciate it. I appreciate the write-up, and the videos really help, like you said, for the visual.
Yeah. I did follow their recipe, but I found, you're going to have different variations from machine to machine as well. So I found for myself, I actually dosed in 22 grams and dosed out 45 grams over 27 seconds. And I had a brew temperature of 93 degrees Celsius. So,
nice.
Which I'll tell you what it is in Fahrenheit
I think that's 200.
Is it?
I think so, or really close, 199 to 200, something like that.
Hey, there you go, 199.4, right on the money there.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
So, yeah, I'm gonna actually try going back. I'm gonna try the 20-second or the 20 gram, because I know you mentioned before that your Bianca works better at the 22 grams. And I prefer my machine at 20 grams also. But and that's one of the nice things about this, right? You get your guide, they give you a starting point, and then you get to adjust. There's no, as we've learned, right? There's no hard set rules, right? Yeah. No right or wrong to go up or down.
100%. And I find just with the Bianca, I get the best results with most coffees doing 22 grams in a 20 gram VST basket. I don't know why that mix works, but it works for me. So it's all good. And just here's what we were talking about before, the transparency. So, we often talk about, as you said, sort of the ethics of the supply chain, because in coffee there are some issues with ethics and but at the same time, a lot of companies also advertise, whether it's a part of some alliance or, fair trading program. And I think, like, while that's all good and, and then you need to support these, like some places that are in need a bit more, I think it just creates an image of poverty and nothing about the coffee, if you know what I mean. So I think there's more of a story to these places. And I think that's important to be told. So that's just my opinion. But I really appreciated the part where they're pricing on here, because when I jumped into the specialty coffee, I was very shocked at the prices. Because I was still my favorite, even though I like moving into specialty coffee, I like one of the Pete's beans, right? So I was used to paying $16 for a whole pound of beans, and then I moved over to specialty coffee, and you're paying $16 or $20 for 12 ounces, right? So it was a big change, but I like how they put this out where it breaks down the cost, and you actually know, or you have a better idea of why the cost is what it is. And it also creates a whole picture of the supply chain, the way they've done it, which I appreciate a lot, So just to go through it here, you've got the top line here, which has their green coffee cost, which is $3.30 US per pound, I'm assuming. And then you've got transportation costs as 32 cents per pound, production costs $4.85 per pound. So that gives their total price of $8.47 per pound. And then, so here they also mentioned the fair trade minimum, which is $1.60. So they're obviously paying more than double that, which is good. And then the commodity market of coffee, which is generally the price for your instant coffees, beans that are used for your instant coffees, which is 97 cents per pound. And then it goes down into their supply. So the lot size, obviously it's infinite. So they've obviously got a lot of supply that they can get for their foundation blend, which is what they're going to want. It's not sort of a single origin, bean that they just got on as a special. It's something they want to recreate constantly to have in their catalog. And it has a cup score of 86.5, which gives it a score like that. That's considered an excellent score for specialty coffee. So So that's quite good. And then probably the last thing, they've even graded the transparency. So the things that we've talked about sort of knowing where beans come from, the supply chain, they grade it themselves and they're open with their grading. So they've given this a transparency grading of a B. So, so as you said, I'm really impressed with that. Probably the only thing I'd like to know a bit more is, maybe other than the country it's from, maybe there's something to do with the region, or maybe there could be a bit more about that, and that's it. But other than that, I'm super happy with what they put up. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with all those points. I do like reading up on. That's one thing I like about the green beans, where I get my green beans from. They usually give the farm or the area of where they purchase the beans from, which is nice. You get to read about it. And I do understand some companies, if they don't, especially if they're the roaster, right? If you're a green bean seller, you probably can put out as much information as possible because people might have preferences. If you're a roaster, you might start getting into the fact that you don't want people copying your blends.
Yeah.
Reading up on theirs. Especially because it says it has Ethiopia and Colombia, but it doesn't give you the ratio really, right? Because they don't want to give that away. But yeah, I'm happy with their website. The information on there, and like I said, I was happy with my lattes. So
awesome, man. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. Is there anything we've missed or that you can think of, or
anything we've missed?
I guess to our audience,
yes, I will say real quick. I'll just say one thing that we missed.
Yeah.
So when you told me that you ordered from Onyx, okay, you ordered them, and then you called back for another reason. I can't remember exactly why. To have them, and they had to do a change of order. So again, they're in Kentucky, right? Or
Arkansas, yeah.
Arkansas, excuse me. So they're in Arkansas. You're in Melbourne, and can you please tell everybody how long it took for you to get your coffee?
Man, you know what? Thank you so much for bringing this up, because I did have this as a note that I wanted to point on, and I completely forgot about it. So, so apologies to Onyx, because it definitely must be known that so I'm based in Melbourne. So the good thing to know, if you're based in Australia or probably anywhere over the world, if they're shipping here, they probably ship anywhere. So I put an order in. I didn't order the catalog box, which had 12 different coffees. I only noticed that they had that after I ordered a box called the Roasters Selection Box, I think it is, which had 4 coffees. So I emailed them and said, hey, I just realized that you have this box and I'll prefer that in my order. And then I got an email the next day. They said, no worries. They gave me a link. So I clicked the link where I just paid the extra. I think it was an extra $40 or something like that. And anyway, so from Arkansas, after that, I had my beans within 5 days from the other side of the world. And I had ordered some beans from a roaster in Australia on the same day, and the ones from America arrived before the ones in Australia. So that's customer service, 100% A+. Man, can't fault them for customer service. They really care about their business. They care about their customers. And I think that goes a long way. So, I'm not sure what their prices are like compared to other roasters in the US, but I'm sure it might be on the premium side just because of the effort they put in, which I think it commands that. But yeah, I would 100% recommend trying their coffee and appreciate their service, no matter where you're from, because they'll get coffee to you, I think, just about anywhere. So
yeah. Yep. That's why I want to make sure we touched on that, because I know I ordered mine after you, and I think I got mine the same day. It only took a couple of days for them to roast.
Yeah.
And on their website, they touch on a little bit about when they roast, how they get their orders, and when they roast and send them out. But shipping was super fast. And like you said, that customer service, means a lot. And their pricing that I've looked at so far, I believe it's in the same range of all the specialty markets. They have some around the $16, I think, range, and then they had a few $20 or $21 on some of their specialty stuff. So
yeah, so thanks for picking that up, man, because I had to touch on that because I was so impressed with that. That's why I mentioned it to you. I just thought, far out, man, what a company, so yeah, fantastic. Well, I think that just about wraps it up, my friend. That's Yeah, it's been a good one. I look forward to trying some more coffees with you. And just for our audience, if there's anything else you think we missed or you want to know for future videos or podcasts, just drop us a comment or send us an email. All good. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining, Jamin, and we'll catch you all next time.